All right, for this video, we are going to go over a layout builder and how to use it. So logged into the website, I'm logged into the content editor, so everything I do should be available for just about everybody. What layout builder does is it allows you to create layouts for pages that are customizable. This lets you get very visually appealing, format the page in a way that you want it to, so it's easier for your users to navigate. So as we look down this page, we have a lot going on this page, and this is all done through the layout builder. Yeah, some stuff here we have in for testing, but that's fine. It'll allow us to kind of play with this, see what it looks like, and get you a very nice looking page very easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new page, and I'm just going to use a basic page for this, give it a title. I can add body information here, and in the body text, I will add some text, give it a title, make this a heading. And again, like we said before, I can switch this to full HTML. Gives me a lot more options here in my WYSIWYG. Let's add a style, and I'm going to save it. Gives me a super simple page, but nothing crazy. So what I can do now is come into layout, and this is layout builder. This is a basic page, came in vanilla, and kind of explain this here. This is the title. Title is automatically going to come in here, the breadcrumb, and then the body text. So on this page, it's set up to be 75% width here, 25%. So if there's a main navigation, that can be added in. But I want to make this more. I want to make this a little more visually appealing. So explain this here. We have sections. So section 1, section 2, section 3. Section 1 is empty. This is if you wanted to add in a banner image. It's ready to go in automatically, or a slideshow. If you don't want it, you just leave it empty. But I want to add some information in here. So I'm going to say add section. So on the right side, you'll have the option and how many columns you want this new section to be. This is a 2 column. This is a 1 column. So let's say I want to add in another 2 column. I'm going to have more information pop up. This is how those columns break down between desktop, tablet, and mobile. So for desktop, we can say 50-50 width, 25-75, 75-25, which this currently is, 58-42, 67-33, a couple different options. So we'll pick this. Same thing for tablet. So basically on your screen size, as the screen gets smaller, this is telling it how to break this section of the page to fit the width of the screen. And I'm going to keep them both at 58-42. And then for mobile, should almost always go to 100%. So we add that section. And now we can add blocks. I'm going to click on Configure Section 4. There's a couple other options here. Container type boxed, which is the default. So we can go full or edge to edge. Gutters, which is margins on the side, or no gutters. I'm going to leave it by default box with gutters. Underneath style, there's some more options. You can add a background. We can do a background color, color 1, color 2. These are predetermined in your settings. You can add media. You can add an image. Click on that. This will open up your media browser, and you can select an image to add. Or you can use a video. Probably would not recommend using video for accessibility issues, but there are instances where you can do that. So we just have it with a background color. Typography, I would leave this default. Spacing. This is going to be the space between this section and the section above and below it. So you have margins and padding. So the margin is going to be the space between this element and this element. It's going to be this space in between here. Padding is going to be within this element and how much space inside of it has. So margin would be outside, padding would be inside. And I'm going to set this to 64 pixels across the top. I'm just going to select top. And you can do this for each side or all the way around. Borders, you can set borders on this if you would like. So with a solid border, leave it with the default color. You can set radius if you want to round the corners off, and if there's any animation. And this is how the element comes into the screen. So for the animation, as these blocks come up, that's using the animation. If you want to use animation sparingly. Not everything needs to move, not everything needs to animate. So when you're finished, you can click Update, and that comes in. So already we can see there's a blue background here. There's a black border, and the corners are rounded off. So let's come back in and let's set padding. Set those to 24. Click Update. And we've now added padding to this. As you can see with the padding, it added space inside of this. So that way with the background, it doesn't look like this element is smashed against the top or the bottom. And we can continue to do this with Layout Builder to kind of create a layout we would like. Add another one column in here. Go back to spacing. I'm going to set the top margin to 64 pixels again. And we'll just add a little bit of padding on this one. We'll add that section in. And it adds another section. So if we save this, the only thing that is now displayed on the page is this background element. So let's go back to layout. When you're on a basic page, a lot of the pages you edit, the layout option will be available. If you do not see a layout option, it means Layout Builder is not available for that page. So now we can add blocks. We're going to go into blocks here in another video that'll be more in detailed. So we'll add block. We'll say create custom block. But these are all blocks that are available inside the website. We are going to create a custom block, and this block is only available on this page. I'm going to say basic block. And just for the sake of this video, I'm just going to add some lorem ipsum text. Again, I don't want to get too crazy into blocks right now. And we'll add a block down here for this section also. So now if we scroll up, click Save Layout. Adds text in here, which is not great with this background. And our text is now down here. So the Layout Builder is kind of like the building blocks to build in an interactive page. It's going to work great for that. It's going to let you design the page out how you want it to be. It's going to make this much more visually appealing. When you combine this with all the available blocks, it really does let you expand what your website can look like.